Hey folks, hello Poco X6, the new smartphone of 2024 from the Poco series X, which contains many updates compared to a quite popular smartphone by X5. Besides, it should be one of the most affordable phones with a Dolby Vision display. Dolby Vision. Dolby Vision is a wide dynamic range video technology that displays more details in both bright and dark areas of the image at the same time. So Poco X6 represents 6 and 60, a 25-inch AMOLED display with a resolution of 1280x2160, 20 pixels and a refresh rate of 120Hz. It supports Dolby Vision and HDR10+, and if necessary there's a PWM control with a 120Hz frequency. Costs 1920Hz. Overall we get a fairly traditional Poco design which now has an IP54 protection class against dust and bombs. Snapdragon 7 with Gen 2 is the heart of the Poco X6, but don't think it's faster than Snapdragon 7 plus Gen 2. And what can one guess from the name? A tad simpler. The base storage option for the Poco X6 is 8GB of RAM plus 256GB of storage. There's also an f2.2 fs, which is quite much. The camera department also has several updates. So X5, the installation on the rear panel is equipped with a main camera with a higher resolution of 64 megapixels now with optical stabilization. There is also a super wide angle camera of 8 megapixels. And macro shooting at 2 megapixels. The selfie camera has a resolution of 16 megapixels. And now there is the ability to shoot video in 4K, which is a good update. Other interesting features of Poco X6 include stereo speakers, a large 5100 mAh battery with quick charging 67W. The X series comes in black boxes with yellow inscriptions. The retail box of Poco X6 contains a 67-watt charger and a USB-A cable. And a black silicone case
Poco X6
with
glue,
a fine
I will find
covered with film. Poco X6 has a familiar design, serious, easily recognizable with the trademark huge black camera block with the Poco logo. Inside we see a flat panel topped off with a burner glass. Glass Victus, which provides screen safety. The plastic frame is quite sturdy with a matte surface and a glossy plastic cover at the back. And what's nice here is that on the rear panel fingers are not so noticeable. But the camera module gets dusty quite quickly. I have the white variant and it has a marble texture under the first layer of plastic, making it more unique. Overall, the build quality matches the price. However, the camera module still looks gigantic. Although the phone itself is not that big, it's easy to hold and use. It's comfortable for sitting. And yes, by the way, you get a 3.5mm headphone jack as well as an infrared transmitter. For now, the X6 has an IP54 rating for dust and rain protection. And splashes. The second digit 4 means that you can't immerse this phone in anticipation. At the bottom is a tray for 2 SIM cards, the main microphone, USB ports, USB-C and a second speaker. The front panel features a large 6.67-inch AMOLED display Crystal Res Flow. As Xiaomi calls it, as far as I know, this is the first phone in this price category with a display of 1.5 Turaka. The difference might be unnoticeable to the naked eye, but additional pixels always enhance sharpness when viewing. Content. The most common issue with mid-range displays is their brightness. The display of Poco X6 can reach a brightness level of 1800. 100 days, which ensures the screen will be fine. It can be seen both indoors and outdoors under direct sunlight. In the real world, the display is bright, has good viewing angles and is perfect for channel viewing. Most applications are well optimized for a 120Hz frequency, although for some reason the YouTube app operates at a 60Hz frequency. Hertz. The display has slim bezels on all sides. There's also an optical fingerprint scanner under the screen, and it's as fast and reliable as other modern optical ones. Sensors. Poco X6 runs on MIUI 14 on top of Android 13. Unlike the Poco X6 Pro, which comes with HyperOS straight out of in the box. The regular X6 will get it through an update and it will be considered one of the 3 promised major ones. Promised updates and 4-year security fixes. The main screen, recent apps and general settings remain the same. The app panel is also included by default and can't be turned off on the phone. In the background of the POC, there are user and preset app categories for faster navigation. The division between the notification shade and the control center is on by default. If you're not a fan of it, you can always go back to the standard notification curtain using quick switches in one place. Themes have always been an important part of MIUI and they are available in MIUI 14. You can download new ones from the theme store. They can change wallpapers, ringtones, system icons, and even the style. Always on display. However, to my surprise, all. The always-on display can only be displayed for 10 seconds after pressing on the locked screen. After all, this isn't always on. Need to rename it to 10 seconds on. That would be fairer. Overall, MIUI 14 is a minor record,
since
broadcasting from the perspective of
users.
experience. Poco X6 runs on Snapdragon 7's Gen 2 from Qualcomm in the chipset owner technical process. We show up as a slightly faster version of Snapdragon 6 Gen 1. This platform isn't as powerful as 7 Plus Gen 2 or even the original 7 Gen 1, but this is an update. Come back with Snapdragon 6.9.5 inside Repentance aspect. Snapdragon 7 with Gen 2 is equipped with an Octa-core processor with 4 Cortex-78, 62 and 4 cores. 3 GHz and 4 Cortex-A55 or 1195 cores. As Hertz. There's no prime here and the kernel architecture is older, 2020. The year. Snapdragon 7's Gen 2 uses the Adreno 710 graphics processor, which was first introduced on the Snapdragon 6 Gen 1 chip. The K6 has a familiar triple camera on the back panel, a high-resolution main camera, an ultra-wide angle camera, and a tiny mapping one. This year, both models of X6 have been updated with optical stabilization. For the main sensor, it should help in certain scenarios, like shooting in low light. The main camera of Poco X6 uses a 64 megapixel Omni Vision sensor, OVIX 64B, half an inch with 0.7 micrometer pixels and quad bar filter. This sensor is connected to 25 millimeters with a new lens with stabilization and an f1.8 aperture. The main camera by default powers photos with 16 megapixel resolution and they come out sharp. They offer a good amount of detail, realistic colors, sufficient dynamic range, and a low level noise level. The ultra-wide camera retains pleasant 8 megapixel photos. They offer acceptable detail, ultra-wide field of view, good colors, and tolerable noise level. The dynamic range is good, not wide but not too narrow either. Photographs are sometimes overexposed, and perhaps this is the only real criticism that what can I say considering the smartphone's price range? The selfie camera here preserves an enlarged image with a resolution of 16 megapixels. A decent exposure, object rendition, good colors, but the detailing is at its best. Average, and that's it. Everything is smooth. Poco X6 supports automatic night mode. It is enabled by default in additional settings. Camera line. This means that the camera application will decide when and where to use the night camera. Mode and time of its usage. Exposure. Night photos from the main camera are average. The detail is below expected, noticeable noise and colors. Sharp. However, the photos are well exposed, they have good details, range, and it's balanced. These shortcomings aside, the Poco X6 supports 4K video shooting at a speed of 30 frames per second on its main camera. The ultra-wide angle camera provides a maximum speed of 1080p. Pixel attraction. Frames per second. Finally, 1080 pixel resolution at 60 frames per second is available on the main and selfie. Camera. The constantly active electronic stabilization works on the main and ultra-wide cameras, but not on the selfie and macro. The main camera's daylight video is excellent, detailed, with low noise levels, accurate colors, good dynamic range, and high contrast mapping. You're gonna go to this with you. See you again.
So here's a video and sound. You can check out how the microphones are writing on this phone. Almost said in rhyme. The video seems fine, but I don't like the direct rays of the sun. The colors are too sharp. Overall, it seems to me is comparable to the photo. The sun is somewhere behind right now. It's over there somewhere. That's how it turns out. And whether you can switch to the front camera during shooting, no, you can only take pictures. And crossover, no way, just walking as is.
In the end, Poco X6 is a great update to Poco X6. X5 improving almost every aspect: design, display, battery and charging, speakers, performance, camera and even software. And it's as versatile as any other phone with a speaker. And it offers great value for money. Quality. I liked the Poco X6 for its IPX4 rated design.